Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another One Piece video. Today we're going to be looking at the top 10 moments in One Piece for me, up to the beginning of the time skip, up to chapter 597, and this is going to be the last, opinion-based video about One Piece, until I get caught up with One Piece, because this is the last video that I had wanted to do for One Piece before I get back to reading it. It's been about 4 months now. Let's see. Last time I read One Piece was at the end of last year. So yeah, it's been about 4 months since I read One Piece, and it has given me a lot of time to think about it and to kind of calm down and get over the hype of recency bias and all that type of stuff. And it's also made me realize that I miss reading One Piece. So I definitely want to get back to it. But before I do, I want to talk about the top 10 moments for me in One Piece up to this point, right? Up to chapter 597. This is pre-time skip. This only covers pre-time skip. Don't, tell me your favorite moments after the time skip in the comments or anything like that. I don't want to know. I just want to talk about, pre-time skip. So let's get into it. They're going to be somewhat chronological, and then I'll have 5 honorable mentions that I thought were really, really important or really meaningful to me, but that I couldn't put over any of the ones that are here. So starting with Arlong Park, I think that the best moment in One Piece, the first great moment in One Piece, is seriously, the walk to Arlong Park. Or more honestly, when Nami falls to the ground crying and she asks Luffy to help her, and Luffy graciously takes his helmet off, puts it on her head, and goes to beat the shit out of Arlong. So that's the first big major top 10 moment for me. It's not the worst moment. It's just the first big moment chronologically. That's all there is to it. And these aren't in order. They're in chronological order. They're not in best to worst. So there you go. Help Me Luffy and the walk to Arlong Park. I actually really, really like the anime rendition of this. I think the little bit of music in the background is really great, and the boys just slowly walking, getting ready to beat the shit out of Arlong is really great. I love that moment, but I like it not because it's a great moment, because it is a great moment, but because it is the beginning of One Piece. It truly is the beginning of One Piece, because all of the East Blue Saga is basically a prologue to the story. It's the gathering, the crew phase of the story, the very beginning of the story. And this is the moment where they become a team, right? When one of them is, on the floor, full of emotion, just needing help, and the rest of them are ready to provide it. And it's great. I love it. It's amazing. It's a wonderful chapter or part of the story of One Piece, and it's definitely the best moment in the East Blue Saga. Now, moving up to the second one, it's when they're leaving Alabasta near the end of the Alabasta saga, and Vivi goes and yells off the edge of the cliff or whatever, I want to go with you, but I can't. I have to stay home. But one day I hope that you guys will let me join your crew. And they know that they can't respond because there's the Navy nearby, and they want to because Vivi is an important person to them. But instead, they raise their arm, which has the mark of the X mark on their arms, which was the mark of solidarity between them. The way that they could tell who they were, the way that the thing that signified that they were all together in this journey, in this battle against the evil crocodile. And they just put their arms up and they show her the mark, and she knows, and they know, and everyone knows that they are with her and that she's with them, and that they will miss her and stuff like that, right? And it's a great moment. It's one of my favorites. It definitely made me tear up when I first read it. Vivi is one of my favorite characters, if you guys don't remember from the other video that I made. And this moment specifically is really, really good to me. I really like it, because it reminds me of one of my other favorite moments in a different series, in Fairy Tail, near the end of the Thunder Palace arc, when Luxus wants to take over Fairy Tail, and he gets exiled. You know, everyone raises their hand in this like little weird L shape to show that they're number one, right? And to show, you know, to Loxus that he's still one of them, because the whole thing in that scene is that, you know, Loxus used to go to this festival with his grandpa, and his grandpa and him decided that this was a way to call out to each other in the crowd, that if they saw that symbol, it would mean that they are together, right? And so when Loxus is exiled, they all show him support, and they all show him the sign, and it's really, really great. I love that. And so the fact that a moment like that exists in Fairy Tail, one of my favorite series, and One Piece, another one of my favorite series, is super awesome and super good. And I really just love what it stands for. You know, this element of found family is one of my favorite things in manga. Now on to the next thing. I basically skipped from the end of Alabasta all the way to Water 7, and it's when everyone squads up to fight Frankie. And I really like this because it's a parallel to the walk to Arlong Park. It's the same thing, right? It's the exact same scene in the exact same way, except for the fact that the person that is damaged changes. This time it's Usopp that can't do anything. It's Usopp that has been crushed and defeated, and he has lost money the same way that Nami did. And he didn't ask for help. He's too injured to ask for help. But everyone knows that, you know, we gotta take revenge for our boy. We gotta avenge our man. And so they all go and they beat the shit out of the Frankie family. And it's a wonderful moment. It's not like my favorite because, oh, cool violence. It's just like the solidarity, the fact that everyone cares about Usopp. And especially because in this arc, Usopp has so much loss of self-confidence. He thinks that he's useless, that he doesn't matter to the crew. His importance on the crew is basically destroyed because the Mary is dying, right? And so the fact that he's feeling like this, but everyone still wants to protect him, is like top tier. It's a great moment. I love it a lot. Following very soon after that, my next moment is Luffy versus Usopp, but specifically the part where Sanji steps in to stop Luffy from doing something that he's going to regret, and saying something that he's not going to be able to take back. I love that moment because the Luffy versus Usopp fight is great. I definitely think that Luffy could have beat the shit out of Usopp if he really wanted to, but the thing is that Luffy doesn't want to. And so he has to fight Usopp in a way where, you know, he basically, it's not that he's holding back out of pity, he's holding back out of respect for Usopp and for their friendship, right? And so I feel like Usopp manages to land some really good blows on Luffy because of this, but that doesn't mean that the blows that Usopp lands are less important. I think they're really meaningful. And I love that Sanji steps in because Sanji is definitely, you know, part of the crew at this moment, but he never really actively, you know, does anything with the guys. He like usually just hangs out with Nami and Robin. And I love that in this case he's like, no, my boys, they can't fight, they can't do this. And I really, really love that part. So that's my favorite part of that little bit there. And then number 5 is when Luffy realizes what Robin, you know, what weighs Robin down, and he immediately and without, you know, remorse or any thought, he tells Usopp to shoot down the flag, and Usopp just does it like a badass, and it's the best moment in that series up until the next great moment, which is I Want to Live. You know, when Robin realizes that she has finally found her friends, that, you know, Saul was right, that she needed to just wait it out and find her people, and she has finally found them, and so now she wants to live and be with them forever. And it's a top tier moment, and I just like both of them together because they basically are in the same scene, and I just really love these two moments because one of them is a show of solidarity like all the other moments that I love, but it also has this really like important, very meaningful kind of change in attitude of a character due to their found family. And as you guys can see, I love these two tropes, these kind of shows of solidarity and realization of found family are my favorite tropes in manga, and I just love them a lot. And honestly, it's like a little bit difficult to talk because I'm trying to not like get in the feels, because I just love these types of moments so much. And just remembering what I was feeling while I was reading that, and remembering just how awesome and how emotional these scenes are, just really makes me like kind of like what's it called? You know, kind of get in the feels, and it's really, really great. I love it. It's so awesome. Next is the Mary's funeral, you know, and specifically the part where the Mary talks to all of them, and it tells them, you know, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for caring about me. It's great. It's the best scene. It really did make me cry when I read it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was straight up just like, holy shit, man, this is so crazy. Like, can you imagine like a similar situation, right? Like, you live in a house and you grew up in this house, and you know this has been your house for however long it's been your house, and then when you sell it, or when it's being demolished, it like tells you, hey man, I really appreciate that you were here. Like, that would be so crazy. It would make me cry so much, because it'd be like losing a family member, right? Like, I don't know, I think this idea of like your home having to be replaced is a very powerful and kind of you know, kind of a very sad thing. And the fact that in this case their home is a tool that they used, that they really cared for, and that this house or home managed to also gain enough sentience to reciprocate those feelings is like amazing, and I really love it. It's really, really good. And then the next one is Nothing Happened. Zoro being a badass. This is probably the first major Zoro moment for me. Like, I really like Zoro overall. Like, I think he's a really cool character, but he always was just like the quiet badass kind of character with like a few funny things with him. And this one is probably my favorite cool guy Zoro moment. Like, Zoro is just badass, but also because I love these solidarity showing kind of moments, the reason for Nothing Happened is because Zoro takes all of Luffy's pain and all of the stress and all of the horrible situations that Luffy has gone through for his crew, and Zoro just tanks the pain that all of this has wrought, and he basically almost dies from it. Like, honestly, it's a surprise that he managed to survive, but it just makes the moment better and so powerful and amazing, and I love it so much. It's such a cool moment. I don't think that we really get anything out of Zoro quite like this at any other moment in the story, but it's like the best moment for Zoro. It's also the only moment that makes Thriller Bark a palatable arc, because Thriller Bark sucks. I hate it so much, but the last 5 chapters of it are glorious, are amazing, are like some of the best One Piece in my opinion. But Thriller Bark is still the worst arc in the series so far. Number 8, I think, is really, really important and really powerful, and it's Luffy's horror, Luffy's sadness, Luffy's like world crumbling when he thinks his friends are dying in front of him at Sabaody, when, you know, Kuma is just disappearing them and sending them to different islands. And the fact that Luffy doesn't realize that they're just disappearing, that they're not that they're dying, and like just the horror and the fact that he, you know, couldn't save any of them is horrifying and so saddening, but so powerful. It is like the first time that we get to see Luffy crack, that we get to see Luffy not as a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, but as this person that is feeling all of the pain. And especially this moment gets even better once you understand why Luffy wants people around him, because Luffy has this fear of being alone. It just makes it so much sadder, so much more, you know, gut-wrenching, and it's just a beautiful moment. I love it so much. It's a really, really powerful moment. And I think this is probably the only moment that is kind of like sad. Like properly sad, I think. Oh, well, no, the Mary's funeral is also sad. Everything else is relatively uplifting and powerful. But these 2 moments are definitely the saddest ones, right? Then number 9, when Bon Clay sacrifices himself so Luffy can go to Marineford. I really love this moment. Bon Clay was definitely not my favorite character when he was first introduced. I just don't like flamboyant characters like that very much. And I really didn't enjoy Bon Clay at the beginning. But after Impel Down, I love Bon Clay. He's great. He's a funny-ass character. He has so much passion for this idea of friendship, and he really cares about Luffy and, you know, the people that he calls friends. And I love that. I really, really appreciate Bon Clay a lot. And so the fact that he sacrifices himself for Luffy is just so powerful, and I really, really like it. It's a really powerful moment. It's quite good. I don't really have too much to say about it, but it is definitely a really good moment for sure. And then number 10. Well, actually, let me do... I'll do number 10, and I'll do the honorable mentions, because the order doesn't really matter. It's just about my favorite moments. So I'll do all of the proper 10 moments, and then I'll mention the ones that I thought were also quite good. So number 10 is Luffy and Ace at Marineford back to back, and just getting ready to battle, and Luffy being happy as hell and Ace being worried, right? And I really love this moment because it's success. We tasted it, we felt it, we were ready for it to continue, and then it all comes crashing down right afterwards when Akainu, you know, destroys Ace's guts. And the moment that follows after that, where, you know, Ace thanks Luffy for loving him, is top tier, man. It's so good, so powerful, so meaningful, so glorious. And then the fact that we get the backstory afterwards just solidifies it even more. This moment is some of the best, you know, just emotional character like moments that I've ever seen in manga, and I love it so much. So that's the last one. Now let's talk about the other 5 that I really wanted to put on this list, but that really just didn't make the cut for whatever reason. The first one is when Shanks saves Luffy. Now this one is a great moment, but it only is so great because it manages to allow the story to happen. So that's why I didn't want to put it on the list, because I don't think it's like the first big moment, and it's the catalyst for the story to happen, but it's also from the first chapter. Like, there's nothing tying us into this moment in and of itself, until, you know, you've read 500 chapters and you're like, oh yeah, without Shanks, Luffy would not be here. So that's why it's an honorable mention and not like part of my top 10 moments, because yes, it's important and it's pivotal, but it's also, it doesn't stand up on its own, basically. So that's why that one's there. Number 2 is Luffy and Zoro not killing Bellamy. I think this is a great, powerful moment because it shows growth of characters. If this had been at, you know, Drum Island, they would have easily destroyed Bellamy for sure. But I think it's really amazing because of 2 things. One, it shows the character growth. They are more serious. They understand their own power now. They understand that they are so far above so many people that it is not like in their best interest to just go killing anyone that comes in their path for no reason. But also because it mirrors the first chapter when Shanks lets this asshole walk all over him because it's not necessary to, you know, kill him, because it's not that big of a deal. So I really like that. Luffy and Zoro kind of mirroring Shanks is great. And then I really like it because Nami doesn't understand, but Zoro and Luffy do. And you know, Blackbeard like acknowledges Luffy because of this, and it's really, really good. I really like it, but it doesn't have any coolness factor to it. Like, I mean, okay, no, that's not true. It does have a lot of coolness factor to it, but it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just really good because it mirrors the first chapter. So that's why I didn't make it in, because it's not that cool, right? Then number 3 is Usopp, you came, when when he takes off his Sogeking mask and Luffy's the only one that hadn't realized that Usopp was Sogeking. I like that moment. It's really funny. It's really cute. It's actually really meaningful because, you know, Luffy has finally realized that his friend, who he thought wasn't going to be here, was the whole time, right? Well, he doesn't realize that it was the whole time, but he realizes that he was there. But, you know, it's not that important. Usopp has way better moments beforehand, so that's why this one didn't show up there on the list. But it is a good moment. I actually quite like it. And then number 4 is Binks Sake. I really like this one because it just kind of has just the right amount of bittersweetness to it to make it meaningful. But also, it's not good. It's not that good in the manga because it's not audio, and you just read it, so it's not that powerful, right? But I do like the song, so I'm sure that it is very powerful if you're an anime only. But as someone that read the manga first, or read the manga specifically, being sake, even though it's a great moment, it just doesn't hit the same as it would if it had actual music, right? And then the last honorable mention is Whitebeard's entrance. She just shows up and he breaks the fucking sky. It's so cool, man. Blackbeard is like badass as fuck, bro. Blackbeard is bad, dude. He's the best. He's so cool, so badass. His entrance was gorgeous. It was glorious. It was amazing. And then the fact that Baby Yours just shows up and starts going crazy, and he like even sacrifices himself to save Ace is a really, really good kind of moment there. But I don't have an attachment, a very direct attachment to Whitebeard or Baby Yours, so that's why they're not. That's why it's not the top 10 moment in One Piece for me. But it is a really, really good moment. If this was the top 20 moments, it would have definitely been on here. But it's an honorable mention. I still wanted to talk about it, so there you go. And that's all that there is to this. That's the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are and your top 10 moments in One Piece up to the beginning of the time skip are. Let me know. And thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later.